Hey everyone, it's me, Ellie, and I'm really excited today to be speaking to Antonio De Bonis from Natart, which is one of my favorite furniture brands, nursery brands, and you'll learn today a little bit about the history of the company. Maybe this video will help you figure out if this is the right nursery furniture for you to buy or what to think about and consider when you're thinking about nursery furniture for your baby. Antonio, as you'll see, is one of the most inspiring people when it comes to talking about this type of product, and I'm excited about introducing you to him. Hello, Antonio.
Hi, Haley, and thank you for having me in this conference. Thank you so much for this invitation.
Sure. Of course. Tell us where you are located and where you're at right now.
Okay, I'm in Canada, actually, near the factory, and the factory itself, Natart Juvenile, is located in Canada in a small city called Princeville, and is a strategic city because it's in the region of the hardwood. Believe it or not, this is the name of the region of hardwood, Bois Franc in French. In fact, in this region is installed the biggest school of furniture and woodworking in North America. And this is the reason why when we came from Italy 25 years ago, we decided to install the factory just very near to the school in order to have competent labor trained at the school for 2 or 3 years, depending on which class. So it's a city of 6,000 people. The biggest city is Victoriaville in the center of Quebec. So
yeah, I don't think a lot of Americans realize that Canada is a center of furniture and artisanship, and it sounds like you have both the folks who can make the product and actually like you said, the hardwood there to make the product.
Yeah, for example, beside us, it is a company, just beside us, is a company producing wood veneer. So you can see outside their factory big trees that they wait for to be cut in veneers. Then we have another factory producing solid wood panel. Then we have the School of Furniture, a manufacturer of varnish. I mean, all the infrastructure is in this area because it is the region of the furniture production here in Canada.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
And it's also the capital of the maple syrup, by the way. It is the capital, the worldwide capital of the maple syrup is in this area.
That's very delicious. Everyone
Sweet.
loves maple. Get the real stuff, folks. Get the real stuff.
Yeah.
It's so good. And so so tell me a little bit about how the company started. So did you start in Italy? And tell me how that transitioned from Italy tell me all about that.
Okay, we started in Italy, in the northern part of the city of Rome. And of course, when we started with a lot of passion, my brother Michel and I, we were doing any kind of wood-related job, so repairing wooden window. At that time, the aluminum was not very popular, or the PVC, so they were wooden windows. So we were repairing windows, doors, kick plate, etc., etc. But then, with the passion, we started to produce furniture. And then our furniture, they were very well appreciated by designers, interior designers and architects. In fact, we were the supplier of all the furniture for Benetton, which is a chain of clothing that in the 90s was very popular. We were the supplier for the furniture for their store for Gianfranco Ferré, which was at the helm of Christian Dior at that time. Gianni Versace also was one of our customers. So basically we were preparing the wooden display and the counter in this upper end store related to the clothing industry. Then in 95, we decided to come in North America, and we selected Princeville because of the School of Furniture. and because, like I said before, in this area, you have the entire infrastructure to produce high quality furniture. So you have labor and suppliers, and those are the two starting winning conditions to do that. Then for 4 or 5 years, we produced furniture for Donna Karan, New York, Tommy Hilfiger was one of our biggest customer, Polo Ralph Lauren also. Then my brother had 2 kids, so 1 year apart. So we produced a couple of cribs with a couple of dressers. A guy saw those cribs and those dressers, and he appreciated a lot the quality, and then he introduced to us to several clients also in United States and Canada. And we started our company. I remember that we did the first show in 2001, basically around the show that was cancelled because of the September 11. And we had a mini booth, like 10 feet by 10 feet, just to try, because we were not convinced about the baby industry. And then we saw a very exciting and encouraging request for our product, and there we go. So after 20 years of operating in this market, we are the only baby furniture manufacturer in North America. All the rest is, we were 23 at that time. So the North America, between Canada and the United States, had 23 baby furniture manufacturers. Today, we are the only one left in the market.
Really? I did not realize you're the only one left for producing
Yes.
in North America. That's
yes.
Wow. Wow. A lot has changed.
Then in 2004, 2005, approximately, China came inside the WTO, the World Trade Organization. So we started to see in our industry several products made in China, Indonesia, Vietnam, etc., etc. So we had to reinvent and then a lot of furniture manufacturers, they were closing down, the North American furniture manufacturers. So we were compressed in that zone. But in 2009, we started a program. We were the first one in the industry, actually the first one in the world, to cooperate with a medical institute called Greenguard. And we developed a program to certify the baby furniture against VOC, volatile organic compounds, and we were the first company to get this certification and to promote this certification in the baby industry. Today, we are several manufacturers or importers with this kind of certification, 5 or 6, but at that time, and for several years, we were the only one.
And tell me, and I remember meeting you, maybe even 10 years ago. You came to my office,
Yes.
And I know that you are very passionate about the environment. You're very passionate about Greenguard and have healthy sleeping. Can you talk a little bit about that and sort of tell parents why getting a Greenguard certified or Greenguard Gold certified product is important, or just products that have healthy stuff in it?
Yes, so it is a distinction between environment, we're going to talk in a few minutes about environment, and Greenguard, even if the name is tricky, but Greenguard is not about planting a tree for every crib that we produce. Greenguard is about the lungs of your child. Basically, a Greenguard certified rooms does not contribute to asthma, respiratory disorders, or allergies in general. The quality, every product that a man transform, for example, a pair of shoes or a dress or a car seat, etc. Well, everything goes through a chemical treatment. To give you an example, sometimes we see leather bags yellow or blue. Well, a blue cow or a yellow cow does not exist. So the leather goes through tannery and receive pigments in order and receive an alteration of the final color. So same thing for the furniture. The furniture is a raw material yellowish color, but to do a furniture in white color or in grigio stain or mahogany, you need a chemical treatment. Now, every chemical treatment adds a certain level of toxicity. So if the authorities in Canada and United States, they are tolerating a level of toxicity of 0.05 ppm parts per million, well, to pass the Greenguard certification, which is much more stringent, your product does not have to emit more than 0.007. Basically, the product is 1,000 times less toxic compared to what the authorities they are tolerating. The toxicity is not visible, is not tangible, but is in the air. When you have a product, since your baby gonna sleep approximately 14 hours in a crib, it is important to provide an environment as much as possible clean of emissions, polluting emissions for his lungs, basically. So this is Greenguard. Now, how to do that is complex. It is a chamber, a stainless steel chamber, approximately 10 feet by 10 feet by 10 feet. The product stays there for 14 days. And during those 14 days, in the room, in that stainless steel room at the Greenguard lab in Atlanta, you have several filters and calendars that they are measuring the level of toxicity. If your product has an emission more than 0.007, is simple, you don't pass the Greenguard certification. So it's all about the purity of the air that the baby gonna breathe. Mm-hmm. Now, about the environment, well, this is another set of rules for the environment, because as you notice, this is a very big chapter. Everybody they are talking well, and everybody they are wishing to do well for the environment. But to preserve our environment, Ellie, is not necessary to think just about in a micro economy path, but in the macro. So not micro, but macro. If we analyze micro, to take care of the environment equal expenses, meaning to take care of the environment, you have to spend more money. When instead the micromanagement, the micro economy is all based on reducing cost and increase profitability. When we see macro, well, there becomes a little bit more complex, but you're going to see that at the beginning is more penalizing financially, but then becomes a circular advantage for everybody. For example, everybody, if you notice, they are recycling as much as possible. Now, in your case, of course, we pay to recycle our carton box, our carton residue that they will transform in carton boxes. We pay to transform our wooden waste, solid wood waste, that's gonna become particle board, for example. Then we pay to recycle our metal waste, and we pay also to recycle our varnish waste, which they become the second grade paint, you know, the garage grade, what we call, you know, sometimes you go into the hardware store, you have the garage grade paint. Well, this is made with recycled varnish. So this is basic stuff that we do every day. But it costs, but is not an excess of cost. But what we do better than that, and we put more resources in that, is first of all, we are a local manufacturer. When you are a local manufacturer, you buy from a local supplier, you employ a local workforce, etc., etc. So basically, you pay more compared to when you buy in Asia. Our plant is powered by hydroelectric energy, which is one of the sources, the cleanest, among the cleanest source of energy. Also, we use UV coating for all the sealer on our furniture. Now, what is the difference? The UV coating is applied by roller on flat piece, and 100% of what you apply goes on the piece. Instead, a facility who sprays the varnish, well, 35% of the spray goes into the air. Instead, we apply by UV, we cure by UV in order to don't create spray and overspray. So that will not go in the environment. Of course, to have a technology like that in the factory, you have to spend several $100,000 in technology. Then, I'm sorry. We buy the finest pigment in the industry. You have 2 or 3 conglomerates producing pigment to give the white color to the varnish or the blue color or the yellow color. So you need pigments. So you have 2 or 3 conglomerates. Well, we decide one of the better conglomerate is a German conglomerate that everybody knows is Bayer, the producer of the aspirin, for example. So it's a pharmaceutical industry. They have a division producing pigment for coating. We buy from them and we pay a lot more compared to less refined pigments. We don't buy, for example, from suppliers that they don't have a certain level of ethic. For example, we buy from supplier and from countries that they treat well their employees. They have some regulations about safety, some regulations about the environment. Now, that is all hard to find in Asia. So for that reason, we only buy local here in Canada, or we buy in Germany and in Italy, which they are two other countries at par with our North American standard. Well, all that is translating by spending more money, $100,000 more. However, then you give a job to people on site, to local people in North America. You give a job to local manufacturers, and there starts the positive impact also on the environment. So you don't have to see the environment as a burden, because if you see in the micro economy, to take care of the environment costs a lot of money. But if you apply another philosophy and you have a macro economy approach, then you see that the care of the environment translates for a better circular economy. And when everybody is good, everybody have also the desire to take care of the environment, because they have a good, a higher standard of living. So we don't see the environment just by recycling stuff. It's more complex than that.
That's super interesting. And it makes me think about other furniture companies and the amount of time and care you put into everything you just said about sourcing locally, and the environmental impact makes a huge difference. Can you talk a little bit about when a family is shopping for furniture, they come in like a range of prices. You can even get a look that is kind of similar between different lines, and they become very confusing. But as a producer and a manufacturer of furniture for so many years, can you help parents sort of understand, separate from Natart per se, but even including Natart, like what are the types of things to ask about, look for, stuff like that?
With the experience, we understood that since we are not all the same, we have at least 6 kinds of behavior when it comes to purchase baby furniture. So you have some persons that they put at the first place the design and the beauty. So basically the attraction, the visual attraction. Then you have some other people that they put at the first place the longevity in general, so the quality of construction. Then other people, they put the safety first, mechanic safety, or also chemical safety, like we were discussing before about the Greenguard. Then you have people that they simply want a little bit of everything, and buy peace of mind. Then you have people that they are very strong in about the country of origin, where the furniture comes from, because we know that often the made in Asia product is associated with safety recalls, etc., etc. And then you have another person that they give a lot of importance to affordable prices. So basically, this is the 6 kind of behavior. So as a manufacturer, what we do, we try to answer to all these kind of buyers. Amanda, sorry, Ellie.
Don't worry about it.
Close the door, please. Close the door. Yeah. Sorry, Ellie, my daughter. She's here with me, so.
It's fine. We'll edit that out.
You know how that works. Huh? So basically, this is the 6 kind of behavior, and we try to answer to the concern of every kind of buyer. Now, I understand that often a dresser or a crib produced in Asia looks really alike, like another one produced in North America, for example. However, the chemical safety, for example, is already one of the concern. Are they Greenguard, the merchandise that is purchased in Asia? And then you know, Ellie, that Canada is one of the most, Canada is the equivalent of Germany in the engine industry, or the equivalent of France in the cosmetic industry, or the equivalent of Italy in the leather and shoes and the clothing industry. In terms of cribs, Canada has the most restringent policies in the world. For example, Canada has 2 more chemical tests compared to United States, for example, for heavy metals. Canada has the entanglement test that United States doesn't have, for example. So, and United States has already a higher standard in terms of safety. So, are these cribs produced in Asia passing the same level of safety? There is always the question. In terms of longevity, I think sometime, yes, the Asian product, they ensure a good level of longevity, but as you know, often they are associated with easy scratchability of the varnish. I told you before, for example, we use UV cured. The UV cured varnishing process is the one applied to the floor. When you apply that process to the floor, has to resist to traffic. Well, we apply this system to our furniture. So it's not unscratchable, but it's hard to scratch it. It's hard to peel, etc. So this is what differentiates us, I think, as a manufacturer compared to the other. We, for example, we offer the lifetime warranty on the drawer box. We offer the lifetime warranty on the drawer glides. For all our 3 brands. I mean, what breaks on a dresser are the moving parts. So once the drawer box and the drawer glides, they are lifetime warranty. I mean, then it's peace of mind.
I just know that for the nursery furniture we used 18 years ago, that's exactly what broke. It's the drawers. How many times, right, growing up, right? That was always a thing that broke.
Yeah, like in a car, really. It's never gonna be the roof of the car that's gonna break. It's the engine, the transmissions, the joints, the bearings. You know, the moving parts. And we, as a manufacturer, we are the only manufacturer we go to warranty this part. Now, the top and the side, I mean, those are passive. Those are passive components. They just need to provide a higher resistance of to the scratchability. But for the rest, they are passive. What it works is a draw, you know.
How do you design your products? Like you have lots of different. Who are the designers? How does the design process work?
It is hard to prepare a design that's going to be loved by the majority of clients. So you lose your time if you want to do a collection that everybody gonna love. Everybody has his own personality, his own decoration at home, his own taste, etc. So what we do, when we prepare a collection, we already have a specific segment of client in our mind. If he's a millennial, he's gonna think different compared to a woman that did she's pregnant at 35 years old, for example, compared to one that she's pregnant at 22 years old. The background is different. The cultural background also sometimes is different. So first of all, we decide for who we want to design, and then we design. If he's for example, we know exactly what the Italian community like in terms of taste and design and so on, you know. Again, the cultural background is very important to know, and then you design according to that background, mm-hmm. and you individuate the right clientele for that.
We're in the times are changing very rapidly. We are, if you're watching this now, we're in the middle of COVID-19. Antonio's actually quarantined right now in Canada. Yeah. Where do you see furniture going, the industry going? What is some predictions? Where do you see your company going? What are some things you think are going to change over the next couple of years?
Natart for Juvenile is our historic brand, the first brand. This is a brand based on solid wood, Greenguard certified for crib, dresser, everything, under-mounted glide, etc., etc. Then we have Nest. We created the Nest 5 years ago, and Nest operates with cleaner design, so less complex design compared to Natart, filing cabinet glides, and a combination of wood veneer and wood and solid wood. So Natart is solid wood, Nest is a combination of both. Then we just created, just before the COVID, and is very pertinent now, we created Tulip. Tulip is all about practical furniture in terms of design. About the Greenguard, we don't know yet because we have to send the sample in the stainless steel room in Atlanta to pass the first test.
Stainless steel room, yes.
Exactly. So we don't have the test yet. Under-mounted glide like Natart, and again the three brands, all the glides all guaranteed lifetime, the drawers lifetime, etc., etc. So now I think Natart gonna go like before. So Natart is a ship that is hard to stop. You have his own client that they are researching elaborated design, etc., etc. Nest is more basic compared to Natart. This is the reason why it costs 30% less in terms of price. And Nest has it is challenging the Asian imported product. Tulip is our enfant terrible, à la Gérard Depardieu, you know, is the company that's gonna try new concept. For example, we just came out with a convertible that's gonna convert into a double bed, like everybody else, like Natart, like Nest. However, Tulip has a patented version of a crib that will convert into a double bed or into a single bed. Why that? Because for sure, considering the cost of construction and rent, etc., etc., the space is more and more an issue. So Tulip gonna take care of this segment of the market, people that they have smaller spaces available, thanks to the convertibility into a single bed, plus 3 more things that will come before Christmas. So Tulip gonna take care of the new way of living with affordable prices. Keep in mind that Tulip costs half, 50% less than Natart and 30% less than Nest. So we're going to take care of a segment of young people that they have other priorities, not a majestic room like Natart. They have other priorities, so not a big mansion, a big house. They like to live downtown, etc., small apartment, loft, etc. So this is where our 3 brands, they are going. So the classic style Natart, Nest is against Asian import, and then Tulip is the one dedicated to the young people that they have sometimes budget issues, but most important, space issues. In terms of the industry, as you notice, we are the only manufacturing alive. All the rest, they are importers. The importers, they have a certain path, and it's always the same for everybody. They start with the specialty store. They start to sell to specialty store. The minute they have some success, they start to enlarge toward the chains, like, for example, Bye Bye Baby, then Wayfair will follow, and then ultimately Burlington Baby Depot, Target, and so on and so on. So we are dedicated to the specialty boutique, because even if we want to sell to biggest people, like Target, for example, we simply don't have the necessary structure.
Your screen just, I just lost your screen for a second. Okay,
yeah,
again,
yeah.
yeah.
So we simply don't have the necessary structure to supply the big chains. So the industry, where it goes, since it's based on importers, the importers gonna give more and more, pay more and more attention to the big boxes, basically people that they can provide volume in order for the importer to have the necessary minimum order quantities to order in Asia, and the industry goes there. A few people like us, they are dedicated to smaller and specialized boutique. This is where I see the industry going.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to revolutionize a little bit some parameters thanks to Tulip. Our first is a convertible into a single bed, which you don't have a lot in the market, convertible to double and single bed. And then a few more surprises that they are already designed and for which we are preparing the samples.
I'm excited. I'm excited about seeing all the innovation and the things you come up with all of your brands with Tulip. And well, I just wanted to thank you for your time today and for teaching me a lot and telling everyone about the history of Natart and Tulip and Nest. And just so you know, you can buy Natart, Tulip, and Nest from us at Magic Beans if you live locally in the greater Boston area. And you can book a free nursery consultation online, or you can book a in-store consultation as well. Actually, Brendan, let's say that again. You can go to mbeans.com right now, to mbeans.com/consultations, and book a nursery consultation with one of our designers, and you can check out some of the product from Natart. If you don't live in the greater Boston area, find a local specialty store. Find a Brixie store or a independently owned store near you. I imagine you could find a list of retailers on the Natart website. What is your website?
www.natartjuvenile.com or nestjuvenile.com or tulipjuvenile.com.
Okay, you got that. We'll put those words below. And thank you so much, and stay safe. And thank you so much for watching. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you, Ellie.